Welcome back, YouTube. Today's project is gonna be shaving the dash. So I'm gonna start with the speaker grill. I already got my piece cut out. Here is the original piece. All I did was trace this on the steel, and that's what I got right there. So I'm gonna be shaving this area, and also gonna shave the radio area. So this is a factory original radio delete plate. It kind of sits over it. It doesn't sit flush the way I want it, so it can be smooth like the rest of the dash. I just want it to be one transition all the way through, just flush. So I'm gonna have to cut this down a little bit all the way around so I can achieve that. So I'm gonna shave this down. I mean, it's just a hair, man, maybe like 3/16 all the way around. And then I'm gonna weld this in also, mold it in, get that ready. For that, I am gonna have to drop the steering column so I can get all of this painted all at once. And I'm probably gonna take off that steering wheel. I have a spare steering wheel somewhere that I can just slap on there to move the car around, and that'll also give me a chance to restore the steering wheel. So that's today's project. Also, I'm gonna shave the wipers on this car. I'm not gonna be using wipers. So I'm also gonna be filling these and doing a little bit of body work on that. But I'm happy not to be sanding today. I'm kind of tired of that. So we're gonna be doing some welding. Here's our pieces. I'm gonna have to trace that on here, get those cut out, and start welding. So here we go. All right, I got that piece welded in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grind it smooth and get it ready. All right, so I got all that ground down. It's still kind of warm, but it's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth, just a little bit of body work. Just gonna get that finished up. So all I did with the welds, get my grinder here. I just ground them down with the rock here. Just very, very carefully. You don't want to go ham with the rock because you're gonna start gouging everything around it, or possibly going through the sheet metal. So you just gotta hold it real tight, real steady, and there it is, man, nice and smooth. So next up is gonna be this the radio hole. Let me get the radio hole, and here is the delete plate. So if you can see it, I got it backwards. If you see how it fits, it just fits over it and all the way around. So I'm gonna chop it down all the way around just to make it fit right in that hole, right here, exactly into this hole. I might have to bang these in just a hair so it can sit flush. So I just want it to sit flush like the dash piece that I put in. That way I can weld it all the way flat and then grind it down flat and then do whatever body work I need to do around it. So I just want a smooth transition on the whole dash. That's the goal here, and it's coming out pretty good. So let me get started on this, and I'll bring y'all back. So I got my piece trimmed up right here. Just cut off the sides, and then on the bottom, the backing plate, it just kind of came off, but I'm glad it did because it was hitting right here and it wasn't letting the front piece sit flush. So that's a lot better now. So let me show you the fitment. Excuse me, I'm kind of laying down here, so the camera might be a little shaky. It's just in an awkward angle. But yeah, this thing fits really nice. That's flush right there. That's money. You can go up just a hair to give me a gap on the bottom right here where my thumb is at, so I can fill in just a hair. There we go. But yeah, man, that's really nice right there. So I'm gonna prep this area, just get the paint off the dash itself. I already got the paint off the piece, and then I'm gonna start welding it in. It's nice and flush now. It's flat. Right, it's all welded up now. So now it's time to grind it smooth. There you have it, nice and smooth. So I finished it off with a flap disc. The rock had got kind of dull when I was doing this piece on the bottom. Excuse me. So I got a 60 grit flap disc, and I went ahead and went over the whole thing. It's nice and smooth now. I mean, you'll use just a tiny little skim coat of filler to get it right, but it's really nice. It looks great. So this was the look I was going for, just nice, smooth, all the way through. So that's ready for the next step. So now I'm gonna go ahead and weld up that cowl. Let me go around over here. So these are the next areas I'm gonna shave on the cowl, just these wiper holes. And for this, I'm just gonna put the steel on the bottom, trace it, cut it out, fit it real nice with the magnets, make sure I have a consistent gap all the way around, and weld it up and grind it smooth. Got the passenger side done. Kind of an awkward piece to work with because it's so flimsy. But it's all finished up now, nice and smooth. It has a little bit of a high spot here in the middle. I can just knock it down and finish this right here. It's not bad at all. I don't think the camera would pick it up, but you can feel it with your hand. It's just a little bit high right here. Pretty easy. Did the same, you know, just like I said, cut out the piece. There it is. Just traced it, cut it out, and I actually cut the piece out with just some metal snips. And then I got the little contour with the pliers. I just bend it a little bit so it was smooth. Just a tiny high spot right here. But I'll knock it down. But yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next side. I got the second piece cut out. Also cut it out with the metal snips, and to get that shape right here. You see that? This is the shape of the cow. It's got that contour, that little dip. I'll just put it right here on the dolly and just hammered it real easy. That's it. This has a very similar shape. So I mean, there's nothing to overthink when it comes to doing metal work. A lot of people overthink things and make it seem like it's so difficult, but I mean, it's only as difficult as you make it. So if you approach something just with an open mind, these things are pretty easy. So now I'm gonna clean this up and get this welded in and grind it down. Got the cowl finished up. Both sides are shaved now. Ready to go. So I'm gonna clean up my mess because I always make a mess when I work. And then I'm gonna treat this metal with some waterborne, with some cleaner, waterborne wax and grease remover. And then I'm gonna spot epoxy everything that I welded today so it won't get corroded. And I'm gonna have to let this dry for at least a day and then do the body work on it. So there it is. This is the stuff for bare metal. This is what you want for bare metal. So even after you clean the bare metal, you have to let it sit after you clean it for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Come back again and wipe it down with a dry cloth and then spray your epoxy. So this is in a 60 grit, so that's plenty for the epoxy to bite on. So I'm just gonna clean up my mess and then clean up these bare metal areas and get them in epoxy. Well, I was just gonna spot epoxy these areas that I welded up, but man, I figured I'm already here. So I prepped the whole dash. I got everything sanded, everything cleaned up, wax and grease remover. I lowered the steering column, took off the steering wheel. I'm gonna cover the column, and I'm gonna go ahead and epoxy the whole dash. That way this is done. After the epoxy, I'll just need a little bit of body work. So yeah, epoxy next, whole dash. Well, there it is. Got the whole dash in epoxy. Fit it, weld it, grind it, sand it, epoxy. All in a day's work. Epoxy. I just bought epoxy this. I didn't prep the whole thing. But this is done. I'm excited. There it is. So I gotta let this dry. I can't do body work today because I have to let this epoxy dry for at least a day. But tomorrow, I'll knock out this little bit of body work right there in the radio delete. I mean, it's real minimal. You're talking about skim coats here. Some body work up top, and then body work on the cowl a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and prep the whole cowl and epoxy that. I don't like recording body work because it always looks the same. That's why I didn't record any body work on the car. It's just, it don't look any different on the camera. You can work 10 hours, and at the end of 10 hours, the car looks exactly the same. So it's very repetitive. And it's pretty much gonna look like this, except it's gonna be smooth, which the camera is not gonna pick up. So I'm not gonna record the body work. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And finish these pieces, leave them complete. And then, let's see, what am I doing next to this thing? I'm gonna restore the inside of this trunk. Yeah, Raptor. I'm gonna clean up, I'm gonna take off this mats, these original mats that it has. I need to clean this whole trunk. Everything. Clean up the metal, sand everything. It's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be dirty too, so. But yeah, I'm gonna sand all of this, get it all prepped real nice and clean, and then I'm gonna epoxy the whole trunk, and then I'm gonna put the tinted Raptor on it. So the inside of the trunk is gonna be the darker color, so it's gonna be a charcoal gray. Same color as the wings and the top. Let's see, where's my paint samples here? So this thing is really dusty, but see if I can wipe it down. There it is. So this is the darker color. It's a charcoal gray. It's called a graphite shadow. So the wings, the roof, the stripe, Continental kit, the dash is gonna be this color. Yeah, so the Raptor is tintable Raptor. I'm gonna tint it with this color, and that's gonna be the inside of the trunk. But yeah, but the dash for today is done. A little bit of body work. I can wrap that up. So, man, I'm exhausted. I think I started at 9 a.m., 9 in the morning. I had to drink my coffee first. I had 2 cups of coffee and started working. It's about 6 p.m., I think. Let me check. Well, it's about to be 7. It's about to be 7 p.m. So I've been in here all day, but we got a lot done. So I like to take advantage of my time when I have peace and quiet. I don't always have that. Usually my phones are blowing up. But yeah, got a whole lot done. Just a little bit of body work left, and that's a wrap. So things are moving right along. After I do the trunk, do the Raptor in the trunk, then I'm gonna have to do the inside of the car. But I'm gonna have to cut the tonneau a little bit. I'm gonna have to cut the tonneau, raise it up a hair, maybe about 2 inches, because I am gonna be running a 6L80 transmission, and that transmission is tall. It's a 6-speed automatic. Just as tall as a 4L80, same thing. And, you know, as far as the case, it just has a six gears automatic. I had done that to to the Rocket on the red car, so I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. I already know where to cut it, so I don't have to actually fit the car on the frame with the engine on it. We did the same thing to Lone Star Low 60, so it's the same exact cut. You got to raise the tonneau a little bit. So after I finish the Raptor in the trunk, I'm gonna do the Raptor on the inside of the car. Cut the tonneau, raise it, and Raptor it. So trunk, and then the inside of the car, that's next. Then take off this front end, start working on the hood and the fenders. So it's just coming along. Still a number of things I need to do. I need to prep the bottom of the car, but for that I need to get it on the rotisserie, so it's coming though. After I do the front end stuff, I can't shave the firewall because the engine's in the way, so I can't shave the firewall until I get this thing on the rotisserie. But I'm gonna do a one piece firewall. So it's gonna be completely smooth. I'm gonna smooth out the engine, the body mounts. And man, it's gonna be a really nice firewall. This is gonna be my first time doing a one-piece firewall, but I'm pretty confident. That'll probably take me probably a full day, maybe like 6 hours, start to finish. I gotta cut all the pieces, measure them. Well, first I gotta make a template. Make a template, full template, and then, you know, trace it onto the steel, cut it all out, cut everything protruding from the firewall. And then I have to leave a little section for the engine wire harness. So yeah, man, a lot of things coming from this car still. So I'm debating what to do on the bottom of the belly. I really want to slick it out, you know, just like the top. I want to base coat and clear coat the belly, but I want to Raptor the wheel wells. I never liked how the paint looks inside of the wheel wells because the wheel wells always have a whole bunch of divots and they're wavy. You know, it has a seam right up top. So I never liked how those look. I mean, unless they're completely prepped, which, man, that's a rarity. I hardly ever see that. But still, that's where most of the debris would be flying, inside of the wheel well, not necessarily on the bottom of the car. So if anything's gonna get chipped, it's probably gonna be a wheel well. So I'm thinking I'll still prep the wheel well, but just Raptor the inside of the wheel well, and then slick out the belly. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So I mean, that can change, but we'll see. But yeah, man, that's a wrap for this video. Got everything nice and shaved. I need to go shave myself, go up. Yeah, it's looking good, man. I'm happy. I'm happy. The dash looks pretty sleek. I can't wait to get the bodywork done on it. But I have to let this epoxy dry for a day at least before I could put filler on it. So appreciate y'all watching, and stay tuned for more work.